Here's a sippity-sappity thing that I wrote, posted on Tuesday, May the 31st, 2022, to the Anachronisms blog. It's called, it's number 3,612 of the Anachronisms, posted to the blog. It's number 22, A Thank You Note to Planet Earth. That's the title, number 22. I would think it was writing thank you notes, a series of them. I've tracked across this treacherously gorgeous country from coast to coast. I've been really wanting to edit these things when I'm reading them, this little group here of the poems anyway, and every once in a while I'll reach a point in the series, in the whole project, where I want to do that really bad. But I think that that impulse can be dangerous for a sort of a daily poem project like this anyway, but for many reasons, which I would be happy to talk to you about at some other time. I've trekked across this treacherously gorgeous country from coast to coast or so, relishing each of the contiguous 48 states, the majority of them on several occasions. I suppose, if all told, 6 or 7 times, and that's not even counting the routine dozen or so that I've traveled those stretches made just for visiting home from any number of other homes, like, say, in my home in the upper Midwest, or from Boston or San Francisco, straight to Dad's old farm in Arkansas, or to his folks in Detroit growing up, or our vacation to the nation's capital in 1976, or to California about 5 years later. But those, the first time and only other time I ever was here until I moved here. But those 7 full stretches from the Atlantic to the Pacific and back, only one of them by airplane, once, and only one way, in a U-Haul truck, by way of a series of Motel 6s, and thrice by train, all the way there and back, which is my favorite way that I've ever traveled, across land at any rate. And I'm here to tell you that this land which we call ours, the land of the entire world, has experienced thus far by this body, and all that was and is left of its senses, can be so god-awful flat and vast and boring at times, sure. But not only is there a wondrous beauty in all of that vast boring flatness, but when that terrain gets divided up, for example, by such varied magnificences as the Ozarks, the Ouachitas, the Appalachians, the Rockies, the rolling hills of Utah, or the endless mountains highways in Vermont, the Grand Canyon, the metropolises, or the blips, even those 2, maybe 3 dog towns over national parks like Yosemite and Yellowstone. Each of these are wonders to behold again and again. There is a deep mesmeric beauty in all of it, a texture and a unique history and a gorgeousness in every step or mile or parcel of land on which you might have found yourself, whether it be only once ever or dozens of times, be they long or short bouts studied, deciphered, and then remembered. And I can't imagine a square inch of it to which I would not return happily, to take it all in once again, to dive ever deeper within the Great Lakes, the creek banks and river banks, the ponds and the swimming or fishing lakes that sometimes seem to take up most of whatever great state in which each is so gloriously embedded. And while for various harsh reasons I haven't driven out of the city for nearly a decade now, of the 2.5 in which I have called it home, and although I lost, before my 50th year had passed, every single material item that I had up to that point gathered, deciding for some reason or another not to let it go, what a resounding privilege it is nonetheless, bittersweetly, drama queenly, it has nonetheless been to be variously transported from Pacific to Atlantic and back again, etc. The sum of each and every moment of every single mile traveled has been the greatest of blessings I've beheld. And I shall return, I have no doubt, to darkened paths new and old, shall plot that course again. You can bet on that, or that is at least what I do, what gets me to moving, or wound up at that, which is true, and has been done now. But it's a pretty optimistic, but yet, anyway, whatever. But I do feel that way. I get all John Denver that way sometimes. I do, and I really love this country, the beautiful country, the earth. I do get a little sappy about it sometimes, but I'd like to see it all.